What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Now, over the past decade or so, hundreds of wrestlers have come and gone in the WWE. Some might have left on their own accord, others may have just had enough with the company and refused to show up, and a few may have been fired for valid reasons such as violating the WWE's drug testing policy. However, with these next 5 wrestlers, they were fined for some of the most ridiculous reasons. And when you look at these, take into consideration that some wrestlers were charged with a DUI and still managed to win the tag team championship the next night with zero repercussions. By the way, these are in no particular order, so be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more videos like this. Number 1. Fired over a fart. Now, the realest guy in the room, Bada Boom, has been seen as one of the most controversial superstars in recent times. Following his WWE release, Enzo Amore has released a rap song, attempted to hijack Survivor Series, and more recently claimed that half the WWE roster smokes marijuana, something that will land you a hefty fine and even a short suspension. While many know Enzo's most recent firing was not down to charges brought against him before the 2018 Royal Rumble, but rather him not disclosing the pending investigation to WWE. However, you may not know that Enzo was actually fired before this. Yes, much before this, even before he entered the main roster. Enzo recently spoke on the Talk Is Jericho podcast of the time he was fired from WWE for passing gas. One time in promo class with Dusty Rhodes, dude, Baron Corbin was up there cutting a promo and Baron Corbin was trying to get help and Dusty was helping him. I just raised my hand and everybody looked at me, and I just farted loud as hell. They fined me $250 and fired me that night, and then I got back into work the next day and they rehired me. If you don't believe anybody could get antsy over a fart, stranger things have happened in WWE, such as the time Brian Knobbs told that his tag partner Jerry Sags was fined over $7,000 for farting in front of Macho Man Randy Savage's wife, Miss Elizabeth, and in his words, blew-dried her hair. Sags wasn't fired, but the fine was extremely hefty for passing some noxious fumes. Number 2. Fired for smiling. It's 2007 and one of the biggest angles in WWE history is about to take place, that being the supposed death of Mr. McMahon. Of course, due to the real life and tragic incident following the Benoit family, which occurred during the storyline, plans were nixed immediately. But right before the infamous limo explosion scene, wrestlers were gathered backstage to see McMahon meet his supposed demise. Wrestlers backstage had pretty much no instructions except they said Vince is going to be acting very weird, he's going to be in the ring and he's going to be acting very queer. The reason I say the word queer is because that is the exact word they used about 1,000 times. This is what London said in an interview, and he continued on saying, "I thought that was a very unusual choice of words for them to describe how he's acting, because I know they mean he is acting odd or funny and it's not how other people could take it, but either way that was the direction we got. He was going to be acting very strange and peculiar." Instructions were admittedly vague, but Paul London would take that as, let's have a great big cheesy grin on your face whilst everyone looks sad. London admitted that he was already in the proverbial doghouse, and it's weird but his motivation for smiling was, don't kill the guy smiling, I'm just an idiot standing here smiling. There was no intention of getting heat or ending a push that was never going to materialize. London mentioned the take was done 9 or so times and each time he smiled. Nobody told him not to, not even Vince McMahon who looked directly at him. Vince even looked on my face on a few of these takes as he was walking around and doing these takes and looked at me, so it wasn't like he didn't see it 8 or 9 times. Now, many believe his goofy smile was the main reason for his firing, even if it was a year after. However, London was supposedly a headache to work backstage and his motivation for wrestling seemed to deteriorate during this time. But ultimately, it seems a bit unfair since London only did what he was told to do. Number 3. Fired for stealing an iPad case. Now, we know what you're thinking. Stealing, of course those are grounds for being fired. However, not when you hear the backstory. WWE superstar Emma was arrested in Hartford on 1st July 2014 after security spotted her taking a red iHome iPad case worth $21. Following her arrest, she was quickly released by WWE. Her lawyer later explained that the iPad was not scanned properly with the other items she bought at Walmart, and it was a simple misunderstanding. Emma was still ordered to perform 1 day of community service, and the WWE within hours reversed their decision. Next time they might want to wait at least a day. Number 4. Fired for using a tie inappropriately. On June 7, 2010, the Nexus made an unforgettable debut on Monday Night Raw when they managed to interrupt the main event between CM Punk and John Cena and caused absolute destruction in and out of the ring. Cena, Punk, Gallows, they were all attacked. Nobody was safe, even Justin Roberts, where he was strangled with his own tie by Daniel Bryan. This wasn't even acting according to Roberts in his book. He really did strangle me, and people still to this day ask me if I was acting, and I wasn't acting. I was legitimately getting choked. I tried to get my finger in between my neck and the tie, but I just couldn't get it to go in. I was choked for a short amount of time, but I was fine, and when I got to the back, everybody was happy with the way the segment went. Vince was only happy for a short amount of time. As soon as one of Linda's political managers saw the scene, he complained to WWE corporate, and as a result, Bryan was fired. All because he used a tie inappropriately. Never mind Shawn Michaels, who put the Canadian flag down his pants. And lastly, number 5, fired for a selfie. Whilst Jimmy Jacobs wasn't wrestling for the company, he was writing for them in 2015. While he was with them, Jacobs was largely credited for coming up with the Chris Jericho list gimmick. However, his time in WWE abruptly came to an end when he posted a selfie with the Young Bucks, Adam Page, Marty Scurll, Cody and Brandy Rhodes during an episode of Being the Elite. And WWE wasn't happy with this and they fired him immediately. Why couldn't they have just ordered him to delete the selfie? Who knows? What would you guys think of these firings? Were they justified? Let us know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.